Max, what's up? Hayley Kiyoko, what is up?
Hey, baby, let's go. Thanks for having us.
I've missed both you guys. Let me start, Max. Where, let me get a little geography. Where are you at right now, Max?
In Los Angeles with the fam, wife, dog, and close by with my parents, which is cute. And we've just been keeping the quarantine going. It's been cute.
There we go. Hayley, same question. Where you be?
I am in my office at home in Los Angeles, California. I feel really lucky to live in LA during this time because,
right,
we have the sun to look forward to.
That is true. And I am in Santa Clarita, which is a bit north of you guys. So we're all basically in the same. I can't wait till we can see each other in person. This is, we're doing what we got to do, but man, it's going to be a good time when it's all said and done, just throwing that out there. What have you missed most during quarantine? Ooh. Max, what are you missing?
People, baby. I miss just, I'm such a huggy and social person. And I definitely miss just, cuddling up to all of my favorite humans. And it's nice to FaceTime people and get in touch with people maybe you don't talk to normally. But yeah, I just miss hugging the fans. I miss hugging my friends. I miss all that stuff. I'm hugging my parents and wife way more than I usually do to make up for it.
They're like, get off me. Get off me. Hayley, what about you?
I miss going to the movies. I miss going to dinner out. But yeah, I definitely miss the hugs and physical interaction. I feel like as human beings, we love to touch. And so we need it. So got my stuffed animals here with me to hold my hand. But I'm really proud of all of us. We're getting through it. We have to rely on each other and, also thank goodness for social media to kind of keep us connected.
Imagine if this had happened 15 whatever years ago. We'd be trying to communicate on a flip phone, Can you imagine?
Hitting 1 3 times, hello.
Oh
is anyone there? ... God,
I'm just thinking about IMing, with back in the day when you would just IM people.
Oh my God.
Oh my God. That'd be it. That's all we'd be doing.
We'd be bored. You think we're bored now? Forget it. Max and Hayley Kiyoko hanging out. Max, let's talk about this album, which is coming out September the 18th, called Color Vision, which, by the way, you spell it COLOUR. And what's the difference in color and COLOR? Is that it's fancy versus normal, or what is it?
It's just the British spelling, and I wanted to throw, obviously I'm just full of color and full of all of the vibrance with this record, and my wife is British, and there's definitely a part of that threw in that little subtlety of using the U rather than just having it the American spelling, I guess.
Right.
And I liked the vibrance of adding that U. It's just a little subtle moment to just give it a little unique texture. So that's why it's called Color Vision with the U.
And details on the album, it's coming out September the 18th. Is it done? Are we done? Or give me how much?
Oh yeah, it's done. It's been amazing though, because it was supposed to come out May 22nd, and then we pushed it because we wanted to just have the proper timing and the vinyls and everything done, and obviously the world shut down. So it's been funny though, because now I've been going back and re-listening to masters and still just doing all the tweaks. I'm so obsessive, So it is literally, I have the final versions of the masters with the newest updates in my inbox, and I'm going to listen later today and probably submit to get the vinyls made for September 18th.
Oh my God. Hayley, have you listened to, I know you're on, one of the tracks which we're going to play, but have you listened to any of his album?
I've been fortunate enough to hear a sneak peek, and it's so good. I'm so excited. Max is just such an amazing artist, and it's been so awesome to be able to collaborate, but also just cheer him on his journey. And this album is definitely going to be one for the books.
By the way, we'll get to this later on, but it's about time you guys work together. I never thought of it.
No, it was about time.
Now that it's happening, I'm like, why didn't this happen a long time ago? Hayley, give me an update. What else? What do you got going on here? I know you did the RuPaul, the Drag Race.
Yes.
So sick.
Wow.
I premiered my drag queen, Queen Elizabeth. It was a phenomenal opportunity and experience. If you watch the episode, I'm pretty much crying the whole time, but tears of joy. It was amazing. I'm working on my second album, so I'm behind Max in the process, but have been finishing that up, and it's been really, really exciting. So I'm excited for you all to hear it as well.
Let me toss the obvious question in here, the no-brainer. Will there be a feature from Max? Have we discussed that? I mean, it seems like
It seems like a no-brainer. So we'll see how it goes. We'll see how busy he is when his album drops, because I'm sure I'll be right behind him.
I'll be rooting her on regardless. I feel a part of her soul and being, so I'll feel a part of it regardless.
We haven't bumped into fans personally, lately, but I am just a big fan, and I've asked you guys both this separately at different times, but I love crazy fan stories. Give me a crazy fan story that comes to mind. My dog's going crazy in the background. Sorry about that. Somebody's delivering something. But give me a crazy fan story that comes to mind.
I got a fun one, but it's up to you, Hayley. If you got one, go for it.
No. Max, okay. You do this.
All right. This my favorite one is I was in the Philippines, first time ever. I had just done the show, and it was the first time I ever had like an armed security guard everywhere I went.
Hold on a second, Max.
You want to wait for the dog? Yeah.
My God. Yes. Quarantine life. Sorry. All right. So Philippines.
So I'm in the Philippines. So I'm in the Philippines for my first time ever. It's the first time I've ever had an armed security guard everywhere I went. If I left my room to go get food from the room service or anything like that, this guy walked out. He knew every moment. He stayed next door. So with that context in mind, I get back from the show and I am FaceTiming my wife. I look on the bathroom mirror. There's handwritten Sharpie on my bathroom mirror. It says, "Dear Max, if you want to see how we party here, come to the 4th floor lobby. First drink on us." Yes. So it wasn't a creepy message, but obviously handwritten Sharpie on my mirror that they had to climb the sink to write on. I'm freaking out. I call hotel security. I'm like, "Hey, someone broke in my room. Can you send I don't know what to do. I'm in a foreign place." They're like, "Yeah, sure." They don't send anybody. I call my homie Ryan in. I'm freaking out. I'm like, I'm in a foreign place. There's this armed security guard. Doesn't matter. Nobody's protecting me. What do I do? I come to find out at the end that it was a fan who worked at the hotel, looked in the computer, asked the manager if it was cool for them to do this specific thing, write a message on my mirror. And the manager was like, "He's going to love that. Go for it." And so I didn't get murdered.
The manager thought that would be cool?
It was crazy.
Love that, right? Yeah.
Right? Just get some murder Sharpie on your bathroom mirror and see. They're going to love that.
Max, that is literally my nightmare. Like when I take a shower and I close my eyes, I'm horrified that I'm going to open it and there's going to be someone with like a chainsaw of some sort. And that's why I don't watch horror films.
Oh my God.
Oh, Hayley, can you top that at all? Or
no, I can't top that at all.
I mean, you want to.
No, I definitely don't. I'm staying home. I'm never leaving.
Ever. Quarantine life forever for Hayley. Are you guys both just super anxious? And I know the answer to this. I don't even know why I'm asking this question. Are you super anxious to get back out on the road at some point?
Of course.
Definitely. Yeah. I mean, I think as an artist, one of your favorite parts and probably the most challenging part is to tour and to be constantly traveling. But that's something that like ignites us and like feeds our soul. And to be able to connect with our fans, like physically and personally. So it's definitely something that I think all of us artists are just like looking at our clocks, like waiting to be able to travel and see each other again.
Same, Max?
Oh, of course. Yeah. And the other part of it is, especially with an album coming out, I love sneak previewing songs on tour and seeing how fans react. And it gives a real sense, besides social media, obviously, of how people are going to feel about the song. And I love testing that out. So I miss both aspects of just being with the fans and that energy and also getting to see how they feel about certain music coming out,
It's crazy. I've talked to so many artists that when they're on tour, they miss being home. And when they're at home, they miss being on the road. But I think now, after all this, it's like, let's go on the road. Let's do this. Anything out.
You always want what you can't have, JoJo.
Ain't that the truth? Goodness. Let's talk this video. We're going to drop the track in a few minutes, but the video for Missed Calls, Max and Hayley Kiyoko, obviously it's a little more difficult shooting these things via quarantine. Yes. Talk about this video. What do people need to know if they haven't seen it already?
So special to do it. We did it from multiple cities, had our director Raul Gonzo in Sacramento. And so Hayley and I shot the footage in my back house. We just set up a whole setup, and my man Andrew shot it. We sent it to Raul. He got doubles of our bodies in the same clothes to basically use the TVs as our conduit of our faces to perform. And we just thought of different fun things to break that fourth wall with. And it was definitely a video we probably wouldn't have done if not for these circumstances. So it was pretty cool to pull it off.
It was crazy. I hope you guys check it out because it really challenges you because you realize how many people are so involved when you're putting on photo shoots or music videos. And Max and Raul did an incredible job being so creative with it. It doesn't really feel like a quarantine video. Like, I feel like looking back on the video in a couple of years, you won't really be able to tell that, like, oh, we couldn't see anybody, like, or be together with a crew or anything.
What a cool concept. Let's do this track. Missed Calls.
Let's go.
With you two. What do people tell me everything about Missed Calls?
It's been 10 years in the making, baby. Hayley and I became friends when I first moved to LA. She brought me on this marvelous hike in Malibu where we were climbing waterfalls and all this stuff. And I feel like our friendship started then. And then finally we knew we had to do a song together. And this record came about, and we both had our own stories to add to it. And it was so special to create it together.
Yeah, I feel like everyone can relate to that feeling of like missing. It's kind of what we're going through now, but like missing what you had and like wanting that back, like wanting someone to miss you and wanting that yearning for that feeling, even though maybe like you didn't want that at the time. And but I love Max, and he's so hands-on as an artist, and I'm very hands-on as an artist. So it was perfect collaboration just with the music and the music video. We just were able to respect each other's visions and come together, and I'm so excited to be a part of it.
I had no idea you guys knew each other so long. 10 years.
Yeah, we've known, it's crazy because like, and then Max was like, blew up on YouTube, and it's crazy, and we've been like watching each other's careers just climb and grow, but just like kind of parallel, and we've never really been able to connect. And so it's so exciting that this is finally happening, and with a record that's so special.
Two-part question for the both of you. You can answer however you want. Biggest crowd you've ever performed for? And the complete flip of that, have you ever been booed?
Ooh, love that question.
Oh, you want to go first?
No, all you, Hayley. Go for it.
Okay, I'll go first. Okay, well, obviously my biggest crowd, I don't know if it counts because I wasn't headlining, but I got to perform my song Curious with Taylor Swift at Gillette Stadium, which was just a small 70,000, count of people in the crowd. It was insane. I blacked out. I don't even know what happened, but it definitely happened. I was there. I have photos to prove. And I've never been booed, but I remember opening for Mike Snow, which was awesome. I love Mike Snow, but it was a difficult performance because I opened, and they didn't really know me, and we were performing in a theater, and everyone was sitting down. No. It was like it's like the worst feeling when you're performing on stage and you're like trying to give it your all, and they're all sitting in the seats, and you're like, get up, like, come on, So that moment was a difficult moment. The rest of the tour was great, but that one show I forget what city it was, but I was like, oh my gosh, that was so scary.
Make this performance end. I think I might prefer to be booed than that.
Yeah, it's so scary because it's like, why? Like, did I do something wrong, or like, what can I do to make you feel more comfortable?
Oh my God, Max! It
sticks with you though. Yeah, it sticks with you.
There's
the hopefully you don't have too many, but those few moments, the boos. I'll start with my boo. The one that's the most potent in my mind was I did Summerfest in Wisconsin, like really probably 8 years ago. It was one of my first festivals, quote unquote. And at the time, I didn't really know how to form a set for people that aren't fans of your music. I've since hopefully learned enough, and that's tricky, but I'm opening for a group called OAR. That's who was on after me. And at the time I'm playing ballads on my piano, and I'm just I don't know what I'm doing. And it's outdoors, and these dudes are smoking cigars, drinking beer, and they start chanting OAR. They were like, who is this little man who is like 18 years old, not knowing what he's doing? And it was, I remember vividly that I had a song and set without my band where I just played on piano, and it was just me, and that was where they were the worst. And I was just, when you're out there alone and you're hearing that, it sticks with you. But it was good because then I learned how to figure out a festival set whenever else. Okay, largest amount of humans, just the largest capacity I've ever performed for. It was this show in Orlando for, they do this radio show every year. And it was 100,000 people. You're in an island in the middle of a lake. So you're not even near the people, but they put you on screens all over, and you're just in the middle. And the best part of performing for the 100,000 people was that in the beginning, you're on an island. I thought my sound was on, but my vocal was not on in the beginning of the set. And and then they had to radio to let me know on the island that my vocal was not on. And they're like, yo, his vocal's off. And we had no idea. We're like, we're like a mile, whatever. We're in the middle of this lake.
I'm literally sweating for you. I'm sweating. I'm so uncomfortable.
When there's an audience and that they hear, but I was so far away and you're just, but it was hilarious. And even the sheer amount, like 100,000 people, you're like, how are they even here,
Wait,
but
Max, I have to say though, I've experienced that too, where I performed with, at Pride in San Francisco with Kehlani, and we came out to perform our song, What I Need. And like mid-song, they had shut down for like a noise, like I don't know, like we went over time or whatever, and so I'm like full on performing, dancing, like singing my heart out, like connecting with Kehlani, and the audience cannot hear a thing, like a thing. Oh my god!
It was your greatest performance ever.
Yeah, it was.
That's amazing. That's the best.
Max, do you still do the? I know your vocal situation is much better now. But do you still take a day every week or so?
Yeah.
Tell me about that. Because, by the way, Max helped me out a ton. I was having some vocal issues as well, losing my voice, talking on the radio all the time. So I hit up Max because I know what you went through. He gave me these diet tips, and it's really helped. So I owe you, Max, for that.
I got you, baby, always.
But, yeah, walk me through what your routine is. I'm curious if you do anything similar to this, Hayley.
Totally. I do all the usual things of hot water and tea and warming up each day and just being cautious of my voice. I have all these little tools and stuff. But when I've maybe sang a lot in a week or even through quarantine, I took a vocal rest day on Sunday, and I won't speak at all for the full day. I'll just rest, and then I'll take little vocal naps too. But I just listen to my body. Whenever I feel like it's really tired or maybe I've overused it, I will just take the day. I whip out my big app on my phone that I told you about, and I just like communicate with my wife with this app where I type what I want to say, and I learned a little sign language, and it's kind of cool. You have to listen to your inner voice more when you do it, but it definitely allows you to just take a little yogi moment and just shut out the outside world when you rest your voice for a bit.
Anything
for those of you for listening, sorry to interrupt you, JoJo, but like that is hard to do, like especially when you like communicating and you like engaging with people. And I remember having to learn how to vocal rest on tour or when you're with people that you love. It's very difficult to just like not speak, and especially like you get in your head, so then you have to whip out your journal. So I really respect Max for treating his instrument the way he does, because it is a very challenging thing to do as an artist.
I know you're not on tour at the moment, but you've been on the road in the past. And of course, in the future, it's going to happen again, obviously. Have either of you ever used, don't give it to me, but have you ever used a hotel alias?
Yes, definitely. I love switching it up. Not going to give them to you, but I keep them creative. And they always confuse my parents, especially when they're trying to like get a hold of me.
Do you have an old one you can release, Hayley?
Okay, well, this one's kind of fun, but like so when I was really young, I did like my first movie, like Scooby-Doo. I played Thelma Dinkley, like way, way back in the day.
We all know that movie.
I was in Vancouver, and like all the famous people did. I wasn't famous, but I was like, whatever, I'm going to do it. So I changed my name as Sacagawea. And funny enough, they were filming Night of the Museum. And at the same time, and the cast was staying at the same hotel. And the actress that was playing Sacagawea in Night of the Museum was staying at that hotel. And so she literally missed her car that picked her up because the hotel was calling my room because they saw Sacagawea, and they were calling me for the car. And so I just have to personally apologize to her because that was my fault. I was just trying to have fun.
What
That's
are the
so
chances
awesome.
another
Sacagawea
would be there?
What are the chances? Yeah, so I've totally, don't use that word.
That is hilarious. Max, hotel alias, don't give me the current, obviously, but.
Not really, and I need to since that Philippine story earlier in the countdown. I need to make a name so they don't break in and right on my window. But yeah, no, I don't. My friend Ryan, who always tours with me and is my right hand man, he's always thinking of really ridiculous like fart joke ones. So I can't think of any now, but he's always thinking of like weird 6-year-old ones. And next time we probably will use one of those.
Like bend over is bent. Yeah, one of those.
One of those.
Think of something crazy. I'm gonna think of something crazy and toss it over to you and see if you want it or not. But that's
let me know.
That's my homework. Max, along with this album coming out September the 18th, of course, Missed Calls with Hayley Kiyoko. You've been doing some side projects. One in particular, there's a guy in a group called BTS. Give me the details on, everybody knows about this track, obviously, but talk about this and what's it like working with Suga or August D.
Woo!
Give me something.
It's unbelievable, man. The long story short of it is Suga and Jungkook from BTS have been just giving love to my music for a few years. I went to Korea for the first time in January, and I had to meet him. I hung out with Suga. I thought we were just going to take a picture. We hit it off. We're both basketball junkies. And so I brought him to his first game, his Lakers game. He'd never been to a basketball game. It was the Kobe Bryant tribute game of all games.
Wow.
So special to bring him to that. And when I first met him, we got along so well. And the first thing he said was, I have a song I want you to sing on. He knew the song. He knew what it was. And I hadn't even met him before that. And I loved how decisive he was about it. And so I was surprised and stoked. And, a couple months later, we did it in 4 different keys. We're going back and forth. But my favorite thing about the collaboration, it's called Burn It on his August D mixtape, is that it was a cool thing as a writer because he had already written the song. And he asked me to write towards the theme around his Korean melody on the chorus, but my own English lyrics, which I've never had for a song. So I wrote to the theme of it with his melody, but my own new English lyrics on the exact hook, which was kind of cool. It's like, as a songwriter, you love being free, but having sort of assignments in a box is kind of cool. And Army's been amazing. I think I love them as a fan base because they know when something's authentic. They know when people are just going for the clout or if they really genuinely love BTS and the artists that are part of it. And so it's been cool to see their reaction to the song and just how much excitement we both have that the record's out. He's the best, man. I'm happy to call him a friend.
Was that challenging to write in those parameters? English mixed around his Korean. Was it easy?
It was tricky. It was tricky because I wanted to get I knew the theme of the song and it was already called Burn It. And I wanted to get the right vernacular to really express his feelings while also fitting the melody and how it sang. It was the first time I've ever done it in that way. And I'm really happy with how it turned out, but it was definitely more challenging than just maybe writing a chorus from scratch. It was kind of cool though. I love those little weird, fun story moments that come along with a specific song.
Hayley, have you met the BTS guys, or are you a fan?
I am totally a fan, and I've never been to Korea either, so I'm just an excited fan. I'm just another fan, just like you.
That's on the list for 2021 for you.
Yes,
Korea,
definitely.
BTS, all
definitely.
That stuff. What is the worst or most awkward place both of you have been asked for a selfie?
Ooh, great question.
And has it happened during quarantine? I assume it hasn't happened over the last couple of months.
Not in quarantine.
No. My least favorite, it's bathroom. Were you going to say bathroom?
Yeah, bathroom.
It's my least favorite when you get out. Well, for me, I get out of the stall and then you're like right in that awkward spot and it's just not the right place. It's just.
Bathroom's it's tricky.
It's uncozy.
It's not cozy. My other is when, we both know this when we're traveling. It's when you do that 5 a.m. flight and you look like total poop and you just get off the flight and you haven't had food, you haven't had coffee.
You're dehydrated.
You're at your worst. And I have these giant pillows I wear. I look like I have the most cozy outfit for a plane, so I just look like I could sleep anywhere. And so not only the embarrassment of someone coming up being excited at 5 a.m, but also the outfit that I know I'm in, which is like this pillow that wraps around my head like a scarf. That's definitely the other one that I try to be kind, but it's like, I'm so sleepy and let me see if I can smile for this selfie, but don't follow me to the bathroom.
Have you ever had someone like you wake up from this long flight and you're kind of curled up and the drool's dripping out of your mouth and you see someone staring at you or snapping pics of you on the plane? Has that ever happened?
Yeah.
It's
Awkward.
that sounds like a real experience for you, JoJo. That felt like it came from the heart. Do you need to talk about something?
I've had a few. I mean, I don't sing, but I've had a few crazy encounters. You know, I'll tell you about them a little bit later on. Haley, you'll enjoy those. Max, question. That of course the album's coming out September the 18th, called Color Vision. And Haley, I'm not sure if you know this, but Max, obviously, you know, he wears yellow everywhere.
I have noticed that. I have noticed that. Shockingly, I have.
Yeah. He was telling me, I don't know if we talked about this on or off air, but he was telling me that even when he goes out, like with his, you know, him and his wife will go have a nice dinner, or back when we could do dinner. Remember that?
Yeah.
He puts yellow everywhere, and your wife is like, "Okay, do you have to do yellow?" And yes. What if somebody sees you? Right? Is that still? I assume that's still the case.
It's still a thing. It's almost habitual at this point. I just, my whole closet's full of it. I got these yellow shoes on.
It looks great on you. Yellow is your color, you know?
I definitely promised her I'd burn it all after this album cycle. But, for now, I'm just trying to be, just committed to it. It's like brushing your teeth. I feel like if I'm not wearing it, but she actually appreciates it even more if I like spend time and just wear black or something instead for a date. If we're not seeing anyone, she's like, wow, you're not wearing yellow. This is so special. What a nice moment,
Wow.
If you do burn those shirts, save me one before you burn them, because
I got
me too. Me too. I want one too.
2 shirts right there.
Yeah.
Are you obsessed
please.
with any? Do you have a closet full of a certain color, Haley? Are you obsessed like?
I
Mr.
wish.
Max?
I'm like all over the place. I love pink. Pink is like one of my all-time, like a blush pink is like one of my favorite colors. So I have a lot of that, and I love red. I have a lot of like red sweatshirts. But yeah, my closet looks very confused. Like when you walk in, like it just looks like I'm confused.
My closet's full of black tees, except for this shirt.
I know. I'm shocked you're not wearing a black tee today. Really, you're changing.
I have like a closet full of black tees. Like Max has a closet full of yellow.
But
stuff, he's more like, I'm not so proud of mine. He looks great. I'm just a hot mess.
Nice.
Keep your head up. Keep your head up, Joe.
Thank you, Max and Hayley Kiyoko hanging out. Let's run through it real quick. Missed calls. It's out. Get on it, or you're a bad person. Video. It's out. It's quite a spectacular concept. Maybe in a way, that's one of the bright things that came out of quarantine is the fact that it forced you to do this video this way.
Totally. I think quarantine in general, there's a challenge here. There's a creative side to any creatives, and if you can really dig in and do something you would have never done before, then you're winning this moment, and just dive into those dreams and see how you can accomplish them in a new way with these hurdles.
Amen. Of course, the album Color Vision, spelled COLOUR because Max is fancy. That's coming out September the 18th, so look out for that. Haley's working on some new music as well. That's a little bit off, but you're in the process.
I'll be back. I'll be back to do another countdown, and we'll talk about my album next. But right now, it's all about Max.
Let's go, baby.
It is great. So great to see you guys. I really appreciate your time, and I can't wait to give you a hug in person at some point, because I miss you and I love you.
Thank you, JoJo, so much.
Absolutely. At the end of every interview, give me a digital virtual fist bump to make it official. Hit that cam.
I see you. Oh, delicious. Thank you, baby.